Welcome back. This is the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Ryle, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, and of course, the one, the only, he's Kelly Lee Williams!
I like being here.
And we're pleased. We're pleased to be joined on our TRS60 hotline by the one, the only. Is that the one, the only Colonel Richard Dent from the Chicago World Champion Super Bowl Chicago Bears? Mr. Dent.
Yes, hello?
How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Richard, thank you so very much for joining us on our program. We really, really appreciate it. It's obviously an honor and a pleasure to get an opportunity to talk with the MVP of the Super Bowl back in 1985 with the Chicago Bears. And we appreciate your kindness in joining us on the program. We wanted to get you on to chat about another future Hall of Famer who's going to be joining you wearing the gold jacket in a matter of a few days, a few weeks. And that, of course, Brian Urlacher, played for the beloved Chicago Bears. What are your thoughts on the legacy and the career of Brian Urlacher as a Chicago Bear going into the Hall of Fame?
Well, going into the Hall of Fame is a great achievement for one individual that put his body to work for some time. So something that goes in a legacy for your kids, for your family, for internally to be involved in. So you wish him luck, and it's nice to go back to really take on an opportunity to listen to guys' story, how they came about, what they went through. It's nice to hear guys' story. I don't care for guys to read to me, but you want to hear the heart and from the heart. What took place, how it took place, how you got there, and what you've done. So, it's a great achievement.
Richard Dent, I'm going to call you Mr. This is Kelly Lee. It's an honor to talk to you, sir, and I just want to say thank you for all of the things that you've done for this city and with the Bears, and just thank you for being who you are. Now, how is your health? Because I'm just wondering, after all these years, 30 years later, are you moving well? Are you feeling good after all the wear and tear of football put on your body?
Well, football, with life and age, Father Time is undefeated, right?
Right.
So,
hey, man.
It's giving me a outlook on life to get a chance to meet folks like yourself, live in a great city of Chicago, from Atlanta, Georgia, to be able to allow yourself to entertain people on Sunday playing the game of sports. People have the option to say, do I want to watch you? Do I want to see you? Do I want to be a part of what you're trying to do or what you're doing? Sports is not a guaranteed, situation. It's just people have the right to choose to enjoy you or turn you off. It's been a privilege for me to be able to, entertain people for a moment in their lives, and for people to enjoy what you enjoyed and what my teammates enjoyed, and the fun that we had. To have that camaraderie as a team, as a teammate, is what it's all about, So, what I enjoy is, a lot of guys that I met, some I didn't know. You get 50 guys together, everybody's not going to get along, but everybody gets along when it comes down to what? Winning, being the best that you can be. And, I dreamed that as a kid, and didn't know anything about the Hall of Fame as a kid. I just someone told me that, if you continue doing this, maybe you can get there. But, to be able to get to that platform to play football and, something as a kid, it's something that I used to dream about. And I tell people, there's nothing wrong with dreaming. Dreaming is God telling you that that it's possible. But a dream has to come along with a timeline. Otherwise you're just dreaming.
We're on with the Colonel, number 95, Richard Dent, former defensive end for the Chicago Bears, joining us on the TRS60 hotline.
Danny Carlino here. I'm not going to call you Mr. or by your first name. I'll just call you by your
Yeah,
name. All right,
you
Colonel.
just call me
The Colonel.
Man, it's fine.
Talking about your deserved election to the Hall of Fame, did you
Right.
ever think about the Hall of Fame while you were playing toward the end of your career, or when did that thought ever come into your mind before you actually got the call?
Well, I didn't, like I was saying, I didn't know anything about the Hall of Fame as a kid. It wasn't something that I was, knew about. I kind of knew about football and to want to be, one of the best at what you do. Didn't know exactly what I wanted to play. And again, I didn't play football in middle school. I didn't play football for 2 years in high school. So, but after a while, probably my second, third year, someone mentioned something to me about it, and that's when I kind of said, "Oh, okay, that's cool too." But again, that was just the beginning and of the game itself. So, some things you don't know. You just prepare. You put yourself. You get on a trail. You get on a path, and before you know it, you don't know that the game of sports, I enjoyed watching a guy named Dr. J. Didn't know anything about Dr. J, but in time, he became one of my best friends. But it was all through sports, so it's people that see you and say, hey, if you do certain things, I look at a guy like Walter Payton, a guy that basically came from the same somewhat background that I came from, and from a small school, and I looked at how the people in Chicago, appreciate and how he was able to capture the crowd in certain ways. It was like, hey, that's pretty cool to get people out the seats in Chicago to start clapping. I didn't get to that point, but the point of it is I had a chance to allow them to enjoy what my passions was, and be the best that I could be.
You know what, Richard, that's awesome. The interesting thing about your accomplishments playing in the National Football League and playing in one of the greatest, if not the greatest sports town in the world here in Chicago is that the defense that you played upon, arguably, in my opinion, the best defense to go down in history. I know they talk about, the Steel Curtain back in the day with Chuck Noll and Mean Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood, all those guys, Jack Lambert. I know they talk about the Ray Lewis Baltimore Ravens. I know they talk about, the Seattle Seahawks, those defenses that played exceptionally well. But hands down, the defense that you guys played back in the era, man, was the best. I'll tell you this. I've never, ever, and I've been watching the game since the early 70s. I've never, ever seen another professional team of 11 grown men lining up. I've never seen another team so afraid and intimidated to get on the football field when they face the Chicago Bears. Because Tony Eason with he was afraid to come on the football field when you guys were out there.
He's still running.
Yeah. He is still running.
But my question to you is, with all the talent on that football team, did you ever realize or think that you would be the one at the cream of the crop, so to speak, to shine above them all? Not that none of the other guys haven't shined in Otis Wilson. And by the way, we're going to have Otis on right after you a little bit later. Dan Hampton, Mongo. That's just on the defensive side of the ball. But
Gary Fensick.
But you're the epitome of Chicago Bear football. Did you ever think that you would be that fixture, so to speak, that face as far as the defense is concerned, and MVP of the Super Bowl?
Well, as a kid, I left Georgia going to Tennessee State, wanting to make my parents happy about, one of their kids. I had 7 brothers and 1 sister, and all of my brothers were musicians, and the first one that kind of finished high school, the first one went to college, so I knew what I was looking for was not in Georgia. The point of it was that I think going to Tennessee State basically taught me how to work on my craft. Again, like I said, I wasn't no one special in high school. When I left high school and went to Tennessee State, Joe Gillum Sr., my high school coach, Joe Gillum said to my high school coach, "Hey, coach, we didn't ask for this guy." And my coach patted him on the shoulder and said, "Good luck, coach," and walked away. So, I had to find, again, like I said about dreaming, dreaming comes with a timeline. You're in college, you're there 3, 4, 5 years or whatever it may be. I was playing an offensive tackle. I'm too small to push people. I'm like, this is not my job. So I got on the defense, on the dummy squad defense, and started giving my offensive players real pitches, developing my craft to become a defensive ball player because I could see over on the defense. The coach didn't mind playing young guys. It was all about who's the best. And for a whole year, I went over there the following year and everything started. And with that, they taught me fundamentals. I taught myself some things after I got to Chicago, after I kept running by people, Father Times catch up with you. Now you have to create yourself, and you have to create other linkers in your game to continue being great. Looking at a guy like Walter Payton, I looked at how Walter ran and things that he did, and put some of that in my game, and the way that he went about the game. And yet, you playing with guys like Otis, like Wilbur Marshall, like Dan Hampton, like Steve McMichael, like the Fridge, like Mike Singletary.
Right.
All these guys thought that they were great at what they do, and they were. And the point of it is, I believe in when, like Otis Wilson. When I tried to help Otis with his pass rush because I make his pass rush better, it's going to take less people off me. Dan Hampton looked at, if he could help me use my hands, it's going to take people off him. So at the end of the day, when you make the next man better,
right,
it makes things better for you. Right? So I know on my team that I played for, and Otis Wilson, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Wilbur Marshall, he's a Hall of Famer. People ask me, well, where would Urlacher play on my team? We don't have any space for him. He probably could play special teams.
Right.
There's no disrespect to him. It's the fact that these guys are killers. These guys was all about being the best week in and week out. They were surprised about looking at a young man like me from a small black school and had what I had. Right? Shy guy, but yet still when it was time to play. Right. I looked at Keith Van Horn, a big guy, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. This might be too much for me. But when I put my hand on the ground, my memory came back. So, it's enjoyable to enjoy something with people that want to be the damn best that they can be no matter what.
That's it.
And that's what, I wish these guys at some point, they get the same honor that Urlacher's get. Because these guys I was talking to Jim Brown many years ago, and every time I see him, he's always talking about 85 Bears team. He said, man, you guys don't have one or two hitters. All of you guys hit. All you guys are,
right.
You got 7, 8 guys out there knocking the shit out you.
Right.
That's my expression. But the point of it is, he played a game where they was trying to pull you down before they could hit you, which is the game that we almost look at today. You cannot take a head out of football. The only way you can take a head out of football is take the face mask off.
Right.
Nobody's going to go hit each other.
Well,
so...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Half of that, Rich, is the league. They're making it no fun league anymore. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch the receiver. The running back can't burst through the hole. He's got to keep his head up. I mean, they're taking the, and I know they want the score and they want the offense in the game, but it's changed a lot. And again, Kelly Lee Williams, in the opening of the segment, said, "Thank you for all you've done and contributed to the city of Chicago. You are a Chicagoan for sure, and the fans have embraced you, and you've returned that favor to us tenfold." Thank you again. We're short on time, Rich. Appreciate you. We're going to call you back again, but any closing thoughts as far as Urlacher going into the Hall first week of August in Canton?
Well, they tell you it take 20 minutes. I'm sure it's probably going to take 30 or 40. But,
right.
Tell the people from the heart, what it's all about. It's all about, listening to your story, and I'm sure his hands are full, and I'm sure his family's very happy, and we'll be there to hear his story.
Richard, thank you so very much,
Thank
man.
you, Richard.
God love you. Have an enjoyable
Take
rest
care,
of your
man.
day.
God bless you guys.
We'll be
Thank
in
you, man.
contact. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.